FA Cup 6th round, Norwich vs Man United, Sheffield vs Arsenal, Leicester vs Chelsea, and Newcastle vs Man City.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions for the continuation of the FA Cup. Who knew it was continuing this weekend? Certainly we did. And because we knew everything that was going on in the world, we certainly didn't throw this video together last minute. But as always with Very Biased Opinions, we do put timestamps down in the description, and you can also follow which game you want to on the new chapters feature on the YouTube video itself. That is if you want to skip ahead to certain matches, but I would never recommend that. You should sit through the whole thing because you're just going to get absolute gold. And as Tom likes to say, you can marinate in our whatever we want you to marinate.
Wisdom, Ian, it's wisdom.
Okay, that's the word. That's the word. Funnily enough, that's the word I forgot. But we're stalling for time. I don't want to delay anymore. Tom, let's jump into the first match.
Sheffield United versus Arsenal.
Usually Thomas Pickering absolutely tears several layers off Arsenal when he talks about them.
If you want to see my greatest Arsenal rant, it's from the last round of Premier Predictions, round 31. It's in the corner. Check it out. I don't even know what I'm saying.
We had to cut out the deleted scene when an oxygen mask fell from the sky to revive him. But I'm going to talk about Arsenal. You can talk about Sheffield United. But I will just say, here is Chris Wilder celebrating getting to the 6th round of the FA Cup, which is a lot like Oxford winning 3-1 in the playoff final against York. Arsenal have had a shocker since coming back from lockdown with those 2 defeats. Obviously, probably expected defeat against City, but the Brighton one was awful. And they're very, very beaten up as a squad with injuries as well. So this is going to be, what are you going to expect? You're going to go to Sheffield United side. You know you're going to have to battle. You know you're going to have to work hard. And those words don't really scream Arsenal to me. But for some reason, and I think it's going back to the boyhood love I had for this side, I'm going to back Arsenal to win this game. I think that somehow, by hook or by crook, maybe Sheffield United will get 3 players sent off early doors. But I think Arsenal will scrape through into the semi-final, and it will be a 2-1 Arsenal win.
Ian, I think you're a nutcase. It's not that I can't see Arsenal only trying in one match this season, and it's probably going to be the FA Cup, because that's the only place Arsenal have turned up for literally the last 11 years. But still, let's get over that. Let's move past that. This Sheffield United side are not going to be beaten by this pathetic has-been run-of-the-mill Gunners side that can't even produce a win against lowly Brighton. Brighton, led by Neil Maupay, he who takes 40 shots a game, and rarely do they even end up on target. It's depressing, it's sad, but this Sheffield United side looked good. They came in against Villa and played their standard way, didn't give them an inch of space. There weren't a huge amount of clear-cut chances. At no one point did you think, oh my god, they're definitely going to score from here. When you do get a chance against Sheffield United, it's a half chance. And I can't see anyone in Arsenal taking it. Yeah, Aubameyang likes to score goals, but he looks off it right now. And the entire Arsenal squad look off it. If you listen to the Neil Maupay interview at the end of the Brighton game, he said the players were mouthing off the entire time at him to the point that he seemed pretty insulted. And when it's Guendouzi, who's like 20 years old and hasn't covered himself in glory or won anything doing all this chatting, who are you? You're the losers of the 6th round. Sheffield United to win 1-0.
I think Guendouzi has won a Europa League runners-up medal.
Leicester City versus Chelsea.
You would expect this one to be an entertaining game, wouldn't you? You'd expect this to be 2 sides that just go for it. Leicester play quite a fun attacking style, and they certainly did that in the game against Watford. I thought they were, as you said in the video, I thought like they hadn't been away. It was a good game, and they will feel they probably should have ended up winning it when you take the lead in the 90th minute. And I think this is a really good opportunity for Leicester City to get to the semis and get more silverware, get more glory. So I fancy Leicester in this one. I think Leicester are going to get the job done. I have a feeling you're going to back Chelsea. I'm going to back Leicester. I think Leicester will win. I think it's going to be a 3-2 Leicester win.
The only reason I think Chelsea are going to win this is because I think that with the second match under their belt, they'll be at their marauding best. They will concede goals, and before I finish my punditry, analysis, whatever word you want to use on it. It's going to be 3-2 to Chelsea. I refuse to predict anything less than 4 goals per match Chelsea are involved in. One thing I will say is I strongly suspect it's going to be a United City semi-final and then a United Chelsea final. I don't know why, I just get this weird inkling, and when I say United, I'm talking Man United, not Sheffield. Pipe down, Ian. I can see it. I can see the cogs working in there.
Just so arrogant when you say these things. Just the only one United.
I really like Leicester, but I think you're starting to notice that Jamie Vardy is easier to nullify and that the whole club basically has to play through his speed. And if they don't have Damari Gray on there, and if they don't play their fluid best attacking style, this Chelsea side are just going to tear into them. So I'm going Chelsea 3.
Thomas. They played Watford, and if Watford don't do their job, they get a beating from Nigel Pearson. That Chelsea aren't going to get the same threats from Frank.
I just wonder what Frank will do. I imagine Frank's really caring and fatherly in his approach to management. Mason, come round for dinner. We'll talk about your performance. You can see my wife, and maybe, just maybe, I'll start you in the next match.
It's unquestionable. It shouldn't turn into Watford. I don't know why it has, but it's always a beating after the game. It's just levels of beating. If you score a hat trick, it's a mild beating. And then the scale just goes down from there.
He only clipped me around the ears 4 times after that hat trick. Juro Delafeu isn't injured. He's just been beaten so many times he can't play anymore.
That's why they get injured on purpose.
Oh, Ian, right. That's enough of that. It's time for Newcastle United versus Manchester City.
Woo! I get to oversee another masterclass of one of the greatest managers who've ever. I was going to say laced up a pair of boots, but what do managers do? Put on a suit or stand on a tracksuit in the sidelines. Stephen Bruce up against Pep Guardiola. There's only one winner in this, isn't it? It's going to be Newcastle United. Far superior side, far bigger side as well. You just look at the history, the annals of football history. I'm sure Steve Bruce probably won more as a player as well than Pep Guardiola. That's actually probably quite interesting. That probably is quite close.
Yeah, no, I think he probably did win more because I don't think the Guardiola Barca teams were actually that successful, were they?
Was Steve Bruce still knocking? He wasn't around in '99, was he? When they won?
No, he started his management career in '98.
Wow!
At Sheffield United.
I should know this, really, shouldn't I? Considering he's the greatest tactician to ever tic-tac-toe. Newcastle will win this game. I think it's going to go all the way to penalties, and I think you're going to see Longstaff smash one into the top corner for the win. So Newcastle, it's going to be I'm going to go Sean.
Okay.
Because I forgot the other one's name.
Matty.
Yeah. And Guardiola's going to be fish shaking. Damn you, Longstaff! And yeah, 0-0. Newcastle win on pens.
Honestly, I will love it if we beat them.
Yeah. I think we both know that's not going to happen. Man City are going to absolutely sweep Newcastle away. Newcastle could barely get past Oxford United, who are in the first division.
Man City barely got past Oxford United in the League Cup.
Man City had a wobble and then banged in 3 goals.
Newcastle banged in 3 goals.
Yeah, I've got City to win this 3-0. As much as Newcastle set up to not concede, this City side they're just going to sweep them away like the bat, rabbit, cockroaches that they are. On that note, it'll be really good for City because they'll get to play a lot of their players like Mahrez, who doesn't normally get a game, etc. And it's always really fun to watch them because everyone at that club is so good at football. It's painful. It's like when they run out Zinchenko at right back and he's pinging 60-yard balls across at freaking the Kazam Stadium, and then Mahrez is taking him down with one touch, and you're sat there going what just happened?
Are we going to see Phil getting a run out?
I think Phil will. I think this is the Phil tournament, is it not? Isn't this the only place he's allowed to play? They're going to rename it the Phil Foden Cup when he retires because it'll be the only matches Guardiola ever lets him play. On that note, play him or stop talking about him. That's it. I've had it. I'm done with it. But Ian, that's enough filler, because I think it's time for you to introduce the next match.
Well, you've pretty much done the introduction. All I need to say is, it's time for the main event.
Norwich City hosting Manchester, the Red Devils United.
This puts me in a very difficult position because I do not like backing Manchester United, certainly not when they're in good form like they are now. So while I sit and stew on what I'm going to do, I'll throw it over to resident expert and Manchester United fan, Thomas Pickering.
When you talk about these like conspiracy theories that always surround Man United, there hasn't been one in a while, but something tells me Man United drawing possibly the worst team left in the cup will be viewed as such.
Wow. Haven't they had an easy run? Hasn't it been a fortunate run for Manchester United?
I genuinely think that this is basically as big a layup as Man United could ask for. It should be a good chance to rest a couple of their players and get a run out for players like Axel Tuanzebe, etc. Possibly get Sergio Romero in the team.
Loves mentioning Man United fringe players.
They're the most. Honestly, though, I guarantee it. In this round, there'll be a bunch of star players, but then there'll just be this random sprinkling of Sergio Romero's, Axel Tuanzebe's, Juan Mata's, the players that are all pretty freaking decent, but just can't seem to get in the team. I'd hope to see Paul Pogba out there. Nothing Norwich have done since they've come back has convinced me that they stand a chance of winning a single football match at the end of the year. I think they know they're down. I think they're 6 or 7 points adrift now. And with only eight games left in the league, I just don't think they've got it with them. So I'm going to go with a comfortable Man United victory, something we haven't seen in a while. 3-0 to the Red Devils.
Yeah, Man United are going to hammer Norwich. I'm really sorry, Norwich fans. You've done well, but you're not going to be like a Wigan and win the FA Cup and get relegated, I'm afraid. This is like the Harlem Globetrotters playing the Washington Generals, I'm afraid.
Yes.
It's they are just going. Fark's going to be standing on the sideline saying, "Oh, just come on, take the ball." He's spinning it on his finger. Norwich are far too. More to the fact that Man United just got it going on. If you'd have been like, earlier on in the season when things were quite uncertain about Man United, you could see Norwich like maybe frustrating them and Man United not being able to break them down. I don't have any fears about Man United breaking sides down anymore. I think Ollie's found a pretty good place and he's got a Man United side playing well, and I just don't see Norwich doing anything. I just think it's going to be a really easy win for Man U. I'm going to go 4-0.
I think there was something in the Spurs match I noticed about Man United, and that normally when Man United go a goal down, you're just like, they have no idea what to do. But the game plan didn't change at all. Like, Mourinho teams set out to frustrate you, and you could tell Man United were being frustrated, but they just kept doing the same stuff. They're like, we know what works, we know how to play, we're going to keep doing that. We can rely on De Gea most of the time. He's made his one mistake in this game. And they just seem to kind of not give in, which was nice to see, because all season when Man United go a goal down, I've told you enough times, they just keep like smacking their head against a wall or something. Oh
yeah, well, I've seen it, and it isn't just like this season. It's been for a few years where they've lacked the ability to unlock the door, and obviously with Fernandes, they have a player that can do that now.
Yeah, and if Pogba's playing, they've got another one. And if Mata's playing, I really like Juan Mata, and I think these games, like when he plays, he just tends to look like a magician against a team like Norwich. Like he always has a good match. He'll probably get a goal. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 6th round of the FA Cup. We did not throw this together at the last second. Please give us all of your predictions, all of the likes, subscribes you can. We really appreciate it. We've loved the support we've had. Obviously, we never get to do these films together anymore. Something about social distancing or something.
And the fact we live like 300 miles apart.
Don't mention that. All that's left to do is for us to send you our love and ask you to stay safe.